If he ain't had to get the money back, I would have been smiling.
Yeah. Would you take 2 years for $4.4 million? I mean, just as a curiosity.
I'll start today.
He's outside today. He said 4.4 in my pocket.
4.4 for 2 years. I done did 2 years for free.
I do want to ask you real quick about there's a guy who he ran a PPP fraud. He got 4.4 million, and the judge gave him 2 years, and he white man, and he just broke down crying. Just 2 years of his life gone. But I'm also thinking like, man, the nigga made 4.4 million.
Did he have to get the money back?
Sometimes there is restitution. I don't know if it's there in this situation, but
if he ain't had to get the money back, I would have been smiling.
Would you take 2 years for 4.4 million? I mean, just as a curiosity.
I'll start today.
He's outside today. He said 4.4 in my pocket.
4.4 for 2 years. I done did 2 years for free. So you know how I go do it for $4 million?
Is I get to come out to it?
Man, like, what jail I need to go to? Man, they can send me to the USP.
Yeah, man.
For $4 million. Shit,
it's funny because I always see it's interesting. And before I let you go, before I close out, I got to get your take on it. The fact that they house murderers with people who are tax evaders and things like that. Do you think that is morally right to put a person who's like clinically insane, who will kill a whole group of motherfuckers?
So what they do, how they do it is, and I get your perspective on it, but they don't look at it like, they don't base it off just the charge that you charged with at that time. They going off of your record, you know what I'm saying? Your extended jail record over time, how you act in jail, the things you done, things you done. If you could have a tax evasion charge now, but you had some bodies back in the day, or some shootings back in the day. And when you go to prison and stuff, that shit, it plays a part in where you house it. You know what I'm saying? Where you house it or whatever. So just because, it's just like me right now, I could get a shoplifting charge. Let's just say I go and steal some shit or breaking somebody's house or something, I'm gonna be locked up with the Lions and the Tigers because of my past record. It don't matter just because I got this little bullshit ass case now. My past gonna do it for me. Yeah. That's real.
Well, with that being said, Govan, if you don't mind, and for those who are curious when they see your name, Hernandez Govan, can you, real quick, as you take us out, tell us how you, whose name is that? Is that your father's name, your mother's name?
No, it was just a name that my mom liked for whatever reason. I used to make a joke about it all the time. I used to be like, my mom was a little tipsy when she had me to name me that. And because my dad blacker than all three of us put together. And my mom is too. So, I think it was just a name she liked at that time. I hated it. She, I think over time, it kind of wore off on her. So the family decided to go with Marquette.
Yeah.
And I wish they would have took me downtown and did it. Just changed it. Yeah. Because I had hell with Hernandez in school.
Oh, man.
I was a big checker. I used to check people. I used to have some people scared to come to school because we used to check shit out of them. Not on no violent shit or nothing.
Yeah, but let you come play on my name.
We just used to have fun and check people. So some of the people that knew how to check back, there was they, you know what I'm saying? That's what they used to pick on me about, my name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, which was all cool to me. I could take a joke. But I hated it though. I used to, it's like you meet somebody. What's your name? Quit?
Yeah.
Your name ain't Hernandez. I thought your name was Hernandez. Man, don't you say that too loud? You know what I'm saying? So I hated that shit. But it kind of grew on me now though. I don't trip on it now. I guess since I'm finna be getting Social Security now, it don't even matter to me.
Not for real. Yeah. Hence on the set with Quet, man. If you don't mind, for those that do want to follow you, man, it look like you're getting your groove into the podcasting world. Can you tell them all your social media handles, your YouTubes, how to follow you and see what you got going on?
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm on Instagram, Hernandez Govan 23, HERNANDEZ, Govan GOVAN 23. That's the name of my YouTube, Hernandez Govan 23. My Facebook, Hernandez Govan. So everything is my name. I'm trying to take a bad name and brand it.
I have to ask because, of course, this situation just happened. And I think we were speaking about it yesterday, but there's a guy by the name of Jarvis Buts who was found guilty for impregnating his 13-year-old niece, Naziah Harris. Of course, that was through text messages. They found out, the evidence was pretty clear that, he wasn't trying to get her pregnant, impregnated her, and then took her life. He just got found guilty, and his sentencing, of course, I believe they gave him life or something of that nature. And once he got processed, I believe within like 2 weeks at the max, maybe 3 weeks, he's found dead. They're saying he took his own life, but it could be anything.
It'll be hard for me to believe that he took his own life. He'll have to, by him just getting there in the first 2-3 weeks. What they say, he hung himself, or what they saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it, but they're saying he was found dead, so I'm assuming either hanging. Or...
he'd have had to go through some, he would have had to get some strong ass sheets, you know what I'm saying? And I think he'd have needed a little help, depending on, I don't know what his cell arrangements look like or whatever, but it's hard to believe that he took his own life, and a person in that situation, child molester, so to speak, and I'd be willing to bet that someone got to him and took his life and did the job for him.
Yeah. What is the mentality when someone is a child molester, a child predator? What's the mentality as far as, those inmates knowing a person coming in with that jacket? First of all, do y'all even know a man's jacket as he comes in?
If it's a high profile situation, you know about it, or somebody sent a kite on him, if they know he en route to their prison. Other than that, when they make it, for the most part, if they checking paperwork, everybody got 30 days to get your paperwork in, and a lot of dudes in this situation, child molesters, they'll play for those 30 days and, and until they time up, then they'll go and catch the corner pocket. But they'll enjoy those 30 days because they know that's the first and last 30. Yeah, because they know they got to roll. They can't produce the paperwork because they know what's in the paperwork. So they'll play like the paperwork on the way, en route, or whatever the whole time. They be doing weird, odd shit, running up debts, because they know they finna check. They know they finna check in, So, they get to doing a whole lot of weird shit, in that situation.
Is it open season for a child predator? And who's enforcing it?
It's open season. It ain't no cut on it. It's anybody.
Whoever just filling the way.
Yeah, you food. It's you can't sit at the table. You got to sit at the independent table. If it's that type of yard, for the most, you got some yards, a couple yards in the world that will allow those type of individuals to remain on the yard, but they'll be segregated. They'll have to sit at the independent table at the cafeteria with the punks, with the other child molesters and things like that, it's they stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, I know they had that's one thing I never that don't get talked about enough. The independent table.
Yeah, the independent table. Yeah.
So you said the punks,
the punks, child molesters, rats. Yeah, when you known to be, one of those, you have to sit at that table. You can't sit at the table, with the rest of the homies. The Tennessee car, Georgia car, Texas car, whatever car that you supposed to be in, you can't sit at that table. At gunpoint.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. When you say it's on site for any of those kind of guys, who is the person enforcing this? Like you said, I know anybody, but is there somebody?
So wherever
the crash outs or the lifers or?
Nah, so wherever that person got that committed that crime at, and so let's just say if that crime happened in Tennessee, whoever's over the Tennessee car, they're gonna enforce it, and they'll pick out whoever it is that they want to enforce it, and give them that assignment. And for the most part, though, you don't never go that far. They normally check in, and just go on, take their walk.
Do COs ever have inmates doing their dirty work?
Yeah, it happens. You get inmates, they get into it with COs all the time. Sometimes they even, I done seen fights happen, and I done seen I done seen niggas, you know, jack off on, we call it gun them down. You know what I'm saying? Gunning a female officer down and she catch him. And so what she'll do, she'll bring in a few cigarettes or something the next day and give it to, you know, whatever inmate that she done set it up with, and the inmate gonna go handle their business, you know, because a lot of female officers, they, you know, they don't like that. You know, it's kind of like some pervert type shit. You know, niggas be standing in the door and just be watching. You know what I'm saying? She could be sitting down at her booth, you know, and just monitoring the unit, and you got a nigga just watching her from a whole different angle. Dick hard as the moon, jacking off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And she just be sick, bro. You know, you see all kind of weird shit in there.
Yeah.